If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's June 4th, 2020, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the Dow Jones continues to surge higher above 26,000. But first, let's take a look at the economic events of the day. So prior to tomorrow's NFP, we have one major news coming out of the European Union. It's a main refinancing rate. That's an important number for the euro. It's coming out at 1:45 South African time. Now, looking at the markets, the euro is kind of quiet right before we start, but looking at the South African rand gaining versus the US dollar. Now, we've been watching this for over the past week. We mentioned it last week, has gotten stronger. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Looking at the Dow Jones, it continues to rally and break higher above 26,000. Amazing move for the Dow Jones. And looking at the commodities, gold and oil retrace. Well, lastly, looking at the stock's overall strength in almost every sector, despite what's going on in the States. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So first, taking a look here at the Euro USD at a daily chart. And I'm highlighting the fact that we are hitting this resistance-ish area right before we hit this major event today, this refinancing rate. So just be aware of that, as this actually usually creates a opportunity on the reverse side. Okay, usually they rally it up in order to take it down. I don't like to go into positions before a number. Okay, so just be careful with this number coming out. Okay, if you do miss it initially, it could be that the fade has already happened. Okay, and we're going to discuss trading the news tonight at the webinar, so just be sure to join the webinar this evening. There's a link to it at CMtrading.com, where you could go to the webinar page. Now, looking at the ZAR, okay, looking at the South African rand, we're looking at it breaking this 1726 earlier and then just continue breaking it into the 1696-ish area. So we still have room to really correct ourselves. Okay, we have some significant room, somewhere in the 15 range still. Okay, so we've got some ample room there. I don't like to chase it as it continues to correct itself, but just be aware that it is correcting itself in the midst. Now, jumping into gold, trading at 1700 after giving up that 1741 rally, and this will trade within a range. Okay, this is a minor support area at this 1700, so a decent place to actually pick it up on a small level, just to give yourself like a little bit of a headway in case it does pop up at this area. Now, we'll call it a B- trade at this area to pick it up on the long side. Now, looking at oil, retracing a little bit to 36.48 after capitulating to 38, and this is normal. Okay, I do expect this to be in a trading range, a tighter trading range, until the easing of the lockdown actually shows itself and prove itself that things are coming back to a post-pandemic normal. Okay, looking at the Dow Jones though, look at this 26,200-ish level. Unbelievable rally. We broke that 25,700-ish level and then take it up higher. Now, I do want to highlight this, okay, because this is really important. Now, this is a daily chart of the Dow Jones, right? So we are looking at something called the 200 moving average. Now, the 200-point moving average is important. And looking at it on a daily, we're right there. We're sitting right there. Now, this could be kind of ominous because tomorrow's the NFP. If there are more numbers that are coming out of unemployment, 30 million people, whatever it is, that's kind of still scary, okay? So this may correct itself still as we are in the midst of June, July. Markets are easing. Hopefully, the markets are going to open up very soon, okay? There have been a lot of protests, a lot of mayhem in the United States because of what happened to George Floyd. It's an unfortunate situation, and just aggravated with this whole kind of unrest in the United States. But the markets are going higher, okay, with the anticipation that the markets are going to be opening up soon. So just be aware of this, that it is hitting this area before the NFP tomorrow. Now, looking at the individual stocks, we're seeing a little bit of a rotation. Certain stocks are on their dead highs, while other stocks are just very close to their dead highs, okay? But what is for sure, if we look at Apple on its dead highs, making a double top, okay? Now, if there was a point for you to anticipate a double top, this would be it, okay? Apple making a double top here, not going higher Amazon also at the top of its range, Microsoft at the top of its range, Facebook close to the top of its range. So you see that the stocks in the tech sector are still very, very strong. What is encouraging is that ExxonMobil is actually breaking out higher. Now we had this 46-ish level as a resistance and now breaking to the 48-ish level. So this is really an important level for this to break on the upside, okay, with maybe continuing on this journey to the $51 range. Okay, that is something to anticipate. Now looking at JP Morgan, as you guys know, I like to cover my basis with doing different sectors in the stocks as well. We're sitting right at resistance. Okay, so a couple of things to note for today is that there are a couple of places that we're sitting on resistance in the major pairs, in the major stock pairs, excuse me. And as such, in anticipation to tomorrow's NFP, I'd be very cautious on the long side. I wouldn't be jumping into shorting it either, just because I think that we're still in a correction kind of environment, okay, meaning to say we could correct ourselves further on the upside, and especially you don't want to go into a number with a position just because the probability is usually against our odds. Okay, so just be aware of it. If you do go into it, just keep your parameters very tight. Okay, stop losses on a very tight level, you know, if you do decide to do it. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.